Just a quick garden update. Alright, trying a couple different ways of weed matting some of the plants. Here I have shredded newspaper. These are long strands, shredded newspaper, same thing I was using with my worms. And it seemed to go alright. I dunked them into a bucket of water, get them nice and wet, and then just kind of plopped them around. And it seemed to go real nice and easy to put down. Didn't have to remove any of the cages or anything. So I did like that. It's just a pain in the butt sitting there shredding newspaper all day or all night. And then this side I have flat newspaper laying out. I guess I probably need a couple more layers. I'll have 1 to 3 layers thereabout in here. So probably should layer up more. I heard about 6 to 8. And I may have to do that. I don't have to do that yet. But I'm going to continue probably this method up. It's a little bit more of a pain in the butt as far as taking cages down, stuff like that. But, you know, most of the other plants aren't caged or anything, so it should lay out easy. I just kind of want to test the both ways. If I had the resources, I'd do a mulch across everything. I got enough probably to do the whole pathway here all the way up, but that's as far as I got with the weed mat, so that's where I stopped for now. Some of the other things, it's winter squashing, a few things, still don't have everything in, but working on labeling them as I put them in. And that's just a treated piece of lumber there, painted at one end, and then I just hand write them on there when I get to them. There's the fava beans. They're doing better than I thought they were going to when I put them in. And then some really tiny stuff yet. You can see most of the, as far as it goes right now, I got about halfway up on the one side planted. It's corn alternating back there with pumpkins. And then there's nothing. It's empty. But I'll probably end up planting this side before I plant the other side because it's starting to turn into lawn. I do have some onions in here. Some red onions. About a little over half of the row there of red onions. And then more lawn. That's me not getting to it with the rain we've had. And you know, every time we had a nice day I was busy with other things, work and all that, so I didn't get in here planting stuff. We're out of town. This past weekend was nice, but I was out of town. Do have a few things. Got some peppers in, row peppers, some watermelon, things like that, starting. So a little bit behind, well, quite a bit behind from where I wanted to be with it by now. I was hoping everything would be in and done, and I just work on weeding at this point. But one other thing I did, I heard deer, I think it was deer, rabbits, maybe both, don't like onions. So I took, after I planted all my red onions here, that row of red onions, I took, I believe it's the white onions I had, and I have them coming all the way down the edge, all the way up to the one side, and then I still have another batch of onions that need to go in. So I figured what I'd do is I'd just scatter those, you know, around everywhere else. Yeah, that's the white onion there. Just go straight up the row. So I'll scatter the other ones around in between some of the plants, just to excuse me, to keep the critters away, hopefully. So that's about it. I did make one raised bed, but then I realized I didn't have any dirt to put in there to make a raised bed out of it. So I may move that up front, closer to the house, somewhere up there, and make it a wild garden with, you know, some wild edibles and some herbal thingies. Or maybe I'll just make an herb garden out of it. That'd be good too. There's my apples. So still working away. A few apples in there. Probably got a little over a dozen on that tree. Another maybe dozen on the other tree, and then I do have some peaches in here somewhere. Let's see there, coming around. I looked at a peach earlier and it fell off into my hand. So that's no good, but it's coming along slowly, very slowly but surely. Thanks for watching. Alright, it's been another week or two since I last bit there. More rain, quite a bit, but it's coming along. I got the path finished with the wood chips. About the same amount of stuff planted on this side, and a few more things on this side. Got some potatoes in here, a couple rows. Some more potatoes down other side of the weed bed here. All the grass that grew in. I'm thinking this might be a good place for chickens. Then I can rotate them throughout the garden, like next year, put them in a different spot, fertilize them up a little bit. More potatoes here. Some Yukons. And water. Lots of water. I don't know how that's going to affect my weeds. It seems to like the weeds. And the peppers. I got some sweet peppers in here. Are coming along, but so are the weeds around them. I gotta work on that. Alright, pros and cons so far with the weed matting with newspaper. Let's see. The shredded newspaper seemed to stay in one place. I still have a lot of little little maple trees growing out of them. I got maple trees pretty much everywhere here. Little ones growing. But it doesn't seem to be too bad. I kind of like it. It looks better too, in my opinion, than the sheets of newspaper. I need to put more sheets down. I never did. The next day after I put them down, I had to go collect a pile of them in the yard that blew away. So I think when you put them down, if you toss some dirt along the sides of them a little bit, something to hold them down, it would help. Before I put them down, I soak it all in water and then plop it around just so it kind of forms together a little bit, and it seems to stick together a little bit better that way. But that's it. Winter squash is coming along too, little bits. Yeah. So that's as far as it's coming right now. Some hot peppers in here, kinda. You can't hardly see them. These are ones I started from seed in the house, and this is one here, kind of far behind, in my opinion. Well, everything in the garden's kind of far behind. These are my ground cherries. I love ground cherries. These are the ones I started in the house here, right there. And these are ones I found in a pot that seeded themselves from last year. So the bigger ones, there's one up here. Bigger ones grew on their own, and the tiny ones are the ones I was actually trying to grow. So we'll see how that goes. If you haven't had ground cherries, try them. Pretty awesome, especially if you like chocolate covered them. They're good. But that's it. Got some parsnips in the next row. Slowly coming along. Alright, thank you for watching.